Well, show me one hospital that a dolphin's built. I mean, show me one school.
Yeah.
When a dolphin gets sick, where does it go for a cure? To man. Oh, that's not fair.
One of your regular callers is named Mick from the high mountains of New Mexico. Calls Rush regularly. Also, apparently, is very much in sync with Rush's approach to liberalism. And its pretense, as he might say. Here's Mick calling in. Again, the issue is animal rights.
Howdy, Your Honor.
It's the Great American Meat Out, and here is the man who catches little puppies and kittens on the side of the road and makes stew out of what?
Come on. Well, we had this little brown-eyed, soft little calf that we've been fattening.
Yep.
And last night I shot him between the eyes and we skunned him out. And we're having a barbecue. And
would this be called, is this veal? Is this?
It's just a little bull calf, weigh about 600 pounds.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're turning him over the coals right now. And tonight everybody brings a case of Coors and a long, sharp knife. And we sit and stuff and gorge.
Not unlike families, beef-eating families all over America. Your point is what? That those who would presume to protect Bambi and other cute little creatures are themselves carnivores, and we.
No. I think I've got to.
That was the meat out.
No, I have to extend the umbrella here so you understand the whole point, the philosophy of what I do. I like to illustrate absurdity by being absurd, Phil. I mean, a lot of people can tell you what they think, and really doesn't take any talent. But illustrating it is something else again. Now, I don't believe that animals have rights as we consider rights for ourselves. Yeah, there are a lot of people who do, and I'm very much worried overall in society, not just animal rights, but a bunch of things about the devaluation of human life. I'm worried about how it's being cheapened. And these people I look at, I think they're a bunch of kookburgers, most of the animal rights people, and I'm just trying to tweak them. I'm trying to make my point with the combination of humor and serious commentary. Sometimes the humor is irreverent, and that's done on purpose, and I think my show is the only show where you find irreverence and serious commentary in the same mix. And this is why I say it takes 6 weeks sometimes to leave. You just hear that, and that's your first day of listening. You won't understand why that's
taken out of context. Well, that's what media does, especially the liberal media.
I'm not accusing you of anything.
Well, but we've got so much ground to cover. Rush, you'll have a chance. I guarantee you'll have a chance. You are pro-life. You are against abortion.
I am.
Under any circumstances.
In order to be intellectually honest and consistent,
you
yes.
can't make an exception. So rape, incest, the baby's a baby, a life's a life, you're pro-life. You're not concerned about the kind of Gestapo we're going to have knocking these doors down if it ever gets to be illegal.
No, again, if I may have just a little time to
Well, how much time?
Oh, it shouldn't take more than that. Is this an indication, Phil, that you really don't want my version of it?
Well, we got a lot of very thoughtful people here.
If they are thoughtful people, and
you'll make your point. Believe it or not, we're still a commercial program as well, so we've got other responsibilities. You have the floor, sir. Pro-life. Make your point.
I have now. If you would rather play the commercials,
no.
Leave. I mean,
go, do.
My point about abortion is not based upon my desire to force my view on anybody or my will on anybody. And my view on abortion is not contained to abortion. My view is actually one based upon a reverence for the sanctity of life, which I'm concerned is being cheapened in America, not just in the womb, but in other areas. We now have the right to die in this country, but as it's being practiced, it's right to kill. We are deciding who lives and dies based upon the convenience to us. And I'm very much concerned as a citizen and as a member of the human race that the legacy we leave succeeding generations is going to be devalued to the point that other areas of society are going to suffer as well. I think rising illegitimacy, I think rising crime rates. Look at what's happening in New York City at Thomas Jefferson High School. When you and I went to school, we might have had arguments with people. It never crossed our mind to shoot somebody. But it's now no big deal for a kid to shoot another kid in New York or a lot of other cities. And I think it's because they think life is cheap. And I'm very much concerned that life be revered and sanctified. Now, my point on pro-life, Roe versus Wade and so forth, so I'm not misunderstood. I think Roe versus Wade is going to be overturned. It's bad law. But so what? If it is, all that means is that the American people will decide this in a democratic way, as it should be. I don't believe that the founding fathers of this country intended for the document they wrote based upon life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, was intended to allow the killing of babies in the womb. I think they'd turn over in their graves if they thought that, that something they wrote has been interpreted that way. So, very close to the end here. So, I think that if there's this mass movement for abortion, if there's a mass movement for pro-choice, then put it to a vote, the democratic fashion. What are they afraid of to do that? I find the fear that they have somewhat curious until you look at the facts, and the facts are that it's not a mass appeal issue. It's not something that 80% of the people want. State of Washington had a referendum, and it was so close that it took them 6 days to count.
And it's certainly not something that the mostly white male legislatures in the various state capitals want either. So that's certainly something I know that you've considered. Let me, in advance of this break, tell you that Rush Limbaugh, you must be 40-something now.
41.
41. From Cape Girardeau, Missouri. His father was a very proud Republican who orated nightly in his home. Wanted his beloved son Rush to be, his nickname as a child was Rusty, wanted his son Rush to be a lawyer. Never did happen. Went to 1 year in college, wanted to be on the radio, made a lot of noise in Sacramento before going national on WABC radio here in New York City, where he appears on the same radio band as Joy Behar and Lisa Sliwa of the Guardian Angels, who have now a campaign going. They are really upset with you and have offered their listeners the 10 reasons why Rush Limbaugh can't get laid. Laid as in a transitive verb, isn't that sexist? And they're starting to call you fat. It's getting kind of rough at the old radio station, Rush.
Well, I tell you, you know,
there.
this since you've brought this up, we'll comment on this, but in order to set the stage, you have to play something that I brought.
What did you bring?
You have to play my feminazi trading card commercial.
I have it ready, and we'll show it. Well, we can't do it now. We'll show it in just a moment.
Yeah.
One more thing this audience should know. Rush Limbaugh this fall will burst onto your television screen. The man on the radio is going to be on television. Oh, what's happening to my country?
Right, thank you. Thank you.
And is going to be syndicated by the same company that owns the Donahue Show. And we'll be back with Brother Rush in just a moment.